Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be continuing into part 2 of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. If you haven't seen part 1, there is a title card where you can go check it out and see what happened in the last part, but today we'll be going into the start of Z. With Raditz soon arriving, how will the Z fighters handle this situation? Will they be able to deal with Vegeta and Nappa? What about Krillin and Kami? Will they be able to warn their friends on Earth? All that will be answered in this part of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. Also, if y'all are interested, I own a Discord server for anyone who wants to join and talk more about Dragon Ball with me and other viewers. Maybe give out some of your own ideas of what ifs, and maybe in the future I could do them. Check the link in the description down below. For today's question in the video comes from Eternal Nova 1274. And their question is, if you could give a transformation to the human Z fighters, what would it look like and what would it do? And honestly, the transformations, I've seen like some fan art and what ifs on if the human Z fighters got transformations. And when I saw Salad Saiyan's what if on that particular question, giving Yamcha a kind of like wolf form and a Tien like a multi-arm form and a Krillin, I think Krillin got the buff form. Honestly, I think that fits perfectly for them. Yamcha with his whole like wolf style theme attacks. And Tien was already kind of saying that he was some type of special human because he had a third eye, but they never went into his character more. And I feel like Krillin would be like Roshi taking up his muscular form. And I feel like that would fit him as well, since him and Roshi, you know, I guess they do have their similarities. And I feel like Krillin would take that form as well. Honestly, I can't think of anything better than when Saiyans made that what if. So I think that will be the best answer to this question. Thank you so much for your question. If you would like to be featured in the next video, just comment down below your question, whether it's about Dragon Ball, another anime, or personal. And maybe your comment will be picked for the next video. Without further ado, let's dive into part 2 of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. So before we get into where we left off, I did see all the comments about Goku's tail and King Kai's gravity difference. Since Kami died, he would not have removed Goku's tail, and I did forget about that. Honestly though, nothing would really change if he did have his tail still, but I would think that Yamcha would tell Goku the truth about his tail of being a great ape when he does look at the full moon. So Goku would figure out that he was the one that killed Grandpa Gohan in the past earlier than in canon. He could remove his tail right then and there, but I also see him wanting to try to learn how to control the power, so we will have him keep his tail and just adjust that during the 5 years. He would try to learn how to control the power to use it later on, if he can. And possibly could teach Gohan how to control it as well, since Gohan is still born with a tail. Further gravity training on King Kai's planet being 10 times, not 5 times Earth gravity. Krillin's training on King Kai's planet would just mean that he grows stronger, since I never did state how strong he got when training with King Kai. Back to where we left off with Kami during his time in the other world, he ventured off and learned all he could, and would come across other people that looked like him, as he would learn the truth of his origin of being an alien from another planet, which shocked him. He would also train with some of the warrior Namekians in the other world to grow stronger, as the guilt of not being able to stop his other half himself and got so many people killed haunted him. And if he were ever to come back to life, he would like to be strong enough to stop the threats himself, or at least help out. Throughout the years he grew stronger, and with being a deity, he would catch the attention of the Kais of the other world, and spend time training with them, but more importantly wanting to learn more about the known universe. That's when he would learn about Saiyans and Goku's origin, but what is worse is the fact that there is a Saiyan heading to Earth as they speak, which worries Kami, as that is when he would arrive at King Kai's planet to warn Krillin about the threat. Now with the power levels for both Kami and Krillin, Kami wasn't training for the entire time, as he focused more on increasing his knowledge, only getting around 2 years worth of training during the 8 years. But he did grow quite strong fighting with other fighters from the other world who are strong in their own right. So I would say a good amount for Kami would be around 6,500. But with Krillin, when he was killed after the 22nd World Tournament, his power level was 115. He spent 4 years training around otherworld fighters, which would be slow at first, but quickly go higher and higher, so I would say 7,000 would be a safe save for his power level. But then when he reached King Kai's planet and started his training with 10 times Earth gravity, and learning the Kaioken for another 4 years, his power level would reach to a power level of 20,000. And being able to reach Kaioken times 20 only in his dead body. Once he gets revived, he wouldn't be able to use it in his kid body, but if he wished to be in his normal age body, he would be able to use around times 10 before any real strain gets to him. Kami would tell Krillin everything he has learned during his time in the other world, as he told him that he was a part of an alien race called the Namekians, and they are the ones who made the Dragon Balls. So if they can make contact with them, then it is possible for them to be brought back to life but also other things like the Emperor Frieza, the Saiyan that is heading to Earth, and Goku being a Saiyan as well. King Kai wouldn't mind helping out as he could telepathically talk to the Namekians, since in the original show he did know the location of planet Namek. Kami would speak to Grand Elder Guru about his current issue. Now it would no doubt be a weird conversation for Kami since this is the first time speaking to another Namekian, but also the fact that he only recently learned of the fact that he is an alien. There may be some doubt with Guru since this is someone he doesn't know, but Namekians tend to be a kind race and I could see it possible that they do help out, especially after hearing about the threat that his planet is facing. It would take a bit since they would have to bring the Dragon Balls together, but after they do, they would wish for every person killed by King Piccolo and his children to be brought back to life, since that would bring back many people who died during his reign besides Kami. He told Krillin to hurry back to Earth as they would need his help. Before he left, Krillin asked if he could use a wish to be aged up to his proper age so that he could use his Kaioken technique, which they would allow and Krillin's body would fit his actual age. Then he would quickly rush over to Earth. Meanwhile on Earth, Goku and Co would all have a meetup at Capsule Corp to have a friendly little gathering. But that is when they would all sense a strong power level as Goku, Tien, and Yamcha would all head over to the power they are sensing. Raditz would have landed on the planet and used his scouter to scan for power levels, but he would soon see 3 separate power levels heading towards him. He would be a bit worried as the 3 power levels together could stop him, but he thought one of them could be his brother, even though he didn't complete his mission in taking over the planet. Goku and Co would land in front of Raditz, confronting him as Raditz would tell Goku everything about their race and his purpose of being on this planet, also telling him that they are brothers. And all of this new info would overwhelm Goku, not knowing if he could believe him. Goku refused to join his brother as he did not want to take over the planet he called home, as Raditz grew angry, but he still remained peaceful as he knew that if he engaged in battle, he would no doubt lose against the 3 of them. That is when Goku and the group would hear a voice in their head being Kami from Otherworld, as he would confirm everything that Raditz has said and could even confirm that Goku is related to Raditz, also telling them the wish they made to revive everyone killed by King Piccolo and his children. They are shocked to hear his voice after 8 years as this is technically the first time they are meeting / hearing him. Once they heard about the wish, they would cheer that Krillin, Roshi, and Chaozu are finally coming back. Raditz would be standing away from them very confused on what he is hearing as the scouter would pick up about the magical wishing orbs that Yamcha would talk about. Goku would be very happy that the mistake he made all those years ago can finally be fixed, as he then looked over at Raditz. He told Raditz that if he really is his brother, he would like to not fight him and offer him to join them, and he could live on Earth. Raditz would yell at Goku, calling him a traitor, and that he is refusing to join them. He was mainly saying that because of the fact that Vegeta and Nappa are still listening in through Raditz's scouter, and they are much stronger than the 3 fighters that stand in front of him. Before the fight would begin, that is when Krillin would arrive in front of all of them, to the surprise of Goku and the others, especially when they sense his immense power level. They would all be shocked with how much he has grown compared to them. With Raditz, he wouldn't know why everyone is shocked, but once he turned on his scouter and it began reading his power level, as his eyes widened and he grew very worried. His scouter would break, but the last number he would read would be 20,000, as he quickly changed his mind. He told Goku and the others he would join them, but would warn them about the other Saiyans that are no doubt heading over to Earth in about a year's time. Tien and the others weren't so sure about it, but with someone as strong as Krillin on their side, they would allow Raditz to stay. But with Goku, he would actually be happy that his brother would want to join them. With a new threat coming, the Z Fighters would begin training. Even with someone like Krillin being much stronger than the 2 other Saiyans, based on Raditz's information, with the way they have lived their lives the last few years without having to rely on the Dragon Balls anymore, they did not want to go back to relying on them and began training even with Krillin being supposedly stronger than Vegeta and Nappa. Note, Roshi and Chaozu would return to Earth with the others being happy that they are back, but they would continue taking a seat back in training. Roshi finally retiring and Tien not wanting to risk Chaozu again. So with Krillin being the strongest, he would lead the others in training to grow stronger and teaching them the Kaioken since he has trained with King Kai for 4 years straight. Gohan and Trunks would be joining them. They don't plan on having them fight against the Saiyans, but having them be stronger wouldn't be a bad idea. Eventually Kami would be revived by the Namekian Dragon Balls after they recharged, and this would be good, but also bad since King Piccolo would be resurrected, but he wouldn't really be a threat to anyone, as they could capture him easily, but Kami would actually fuse with King Piccolo, and with him being the stronger half, he would be the main one that takes over. This fusion would boost his power level from 6,500 to 20,000. Honestly, there is no real multiplier to base off the Namekian fusion from, so I am just assuming that the increase would be big since Kami would be fusing with his other half, letting him be completely whole, but also not trying to make him super overpowered right from the start. Krillin would also talk about the gravity training he did on King Kai's planet, and would give the idea to Bulma, as she would make the gravity room so that the Z Fighters could further grow stronger in their training for the Saiyans. Kami would grow stronger with the group as he too would pick up the Kaioken technique, and what is better is that since he is stronger, he would upgrade the Dragon Balls to become more powerful, increasing the amount of wishes they could grant. With the time ticking down, the group would train intensely until the arrival of the other two Saiyans. And that's where I'm going to leave it off for now. Tell me how y'all think about the second part and how I did with the continuation of this What If. With Raditz joining the Z Fighters, will they be able to prepare for the incoming Saiyan threats? How strong would they be able to get with having a strong training partner being Krillin? Would Vegeta and Nappa even be a threat with Krillin already being much more powerful than both Vegeta and Nappa in their base form? What could have happened differently? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. I would love to hear them. If y'all are interested and enjoy, please even like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post another part. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next part. See ya.